Hi, I'm really autistic and I dropped my camera today. Hey there, I'm Wheelie Autistic and today I'm going to be talking to you about my first ever Pride event as a disabled person. So now, Pride was an interesting story, if I do say so myself, particularly because I was actually meant to go with one of my societies at 12 o'clock when it first initially started, because the parade was completely inaccessible for me. There was absolutely no way that I would even be able to see anything with the hordes and crowds of people. I also just didn't feel safe going, honestly, with me being not sure how badly I'd be affected by if I catch something or not. So I decided that I just wouldn't go to the parade and I'll just go to the actual live event, and I wouldn't go to the after party either. The after party, things happened actually that was shocking. I wasn't there, but I heard about what happened, so I will talk about that. But basically, I ended up feeling horrendous, and I mean horrendous. I couldn't get out of bed properly. I was struggling to move. I was like, oh god, I feel awful. I managed to do my makeup a little bit later, so I think, because obviously I woke up at 7 a.m. and I just wasn't able to move, and by 1 o'clock I started doing my makeup. It took me 2 hours to do it because I was like, I don't have the strength to do it, but I just wanted to feel pretty, you know, so I'll just do my makeup, and I was like, I'll do Pride makeup, whatever, you know, it's Pride month, I'll do it. And basically a little bit goes by and I'm starting to feel a bit better. I've got some more mobility, but I know I'm going to have to use my wheelchair. So I get a call from my friends and there was a misunderstanding. I thought they were at Pride. They weren't. Apparently they just asked somebody on the street whether it was wheelchair accessible and they said yes. So I didn't realize that person wasn't going to be there. So I was like, it's fine. I've got the society. I've got that person. I'll go. It's okay. So I ended up going and I had my electric wheelchair. Getting in was perfectly fine. They were really kind. There was an accessibility entrance, which I managed to get parking right next to. Thankfully, that was lucky. And they were very kind. They took me through, but they were, I didn't ask to be moved ahead, but they were just kind enough to go like, oh, you know, move out the way. This person needs to go through. So I said, okay, perfect. That's fantastic. And when I got there, I noticed the main accessibility issue, grass. A lot of it. And I knew that this was going to happen, but I kind of hoped that they would put some ramps between the curb of the grass. They didn't. It's fine. I was like, I'll stay on the grass, God's sake, pathway. And when I got there, I was looking for my society. Now, I tried to get onto the grass area because that's where they were, and there was these huge slopes. And I tried three... I didn't understand that. Shush. I tried 3 times to go up the slope, couldn't. My wheelchair just kept going back down again. No matter how much power I had, the slope was too steep. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to get up there. Simple as that, I'm not going to be able to. So the third time I tried to get up there and then slid back down again. Now this is where the problem started. Some person grabbed the handlebars of my wheelchair behind and then said, do you need some help? Now, anyone who is a wheelchair user, an electric wheelchair user, knows that this chair is an extension of our body. And you touching my chair, is not okay. You didn't ask permission beforehand, you just touched my chair. So I was not very happy. I turned around and I went, please, can you not touch my chair? It's electric. If you try to push it, you will break it. And that is a fact. And they went, oh, I was like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I then had to go all the way around to find a bit where there was less of a ramp I could go in, and then no one was getting out of the way. I was sat there screaming, excuse me, as politely as I could. No one was moving because no one could see me. I was invisible as far as they were concerned. And by the time I got to where my society was meant to be sitting, there was only 2 people left. Apparently everyone had left. Because it was 4 o'clock by the time I got there, and the event started at 12, so obviously people had left. The music was unbearably loud. I could not handle it. I was getting overwhelmed. I was getting overstimulated. Alfie was getting really overwhelmed. He ended up going on my lap to help me, and people kept coming up to me and petting him and touching him and going quite close to me. And people, when they couldn't hear me, they would go like really up close. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, I'm getting so anxious, so scared. I'm already, like, I've got agoraphobia. I am petrified. I went because I thought I would have some support there. I felt awful. Because I couldn't find the exit for one. I then went around some of the stalls, couldn't find anything, and then I bumped into a group of the friends that I know from my society. And they were looking for the same thing as me. They were looking for a specific flag that was like out of stock. And I ended up going with them for 30 minutes around. We took a few photos. It was quite nice, that bit, but we also stayed a little bit further away. I actually had noise-cancelling earbuds in my ears. And if you can imagine, these are top-notch noise-cancelling. They would not cancel out the sound of the concert. It was so loud. I was struggling. Poor Alfie was probably so overwhelmed. It wasn't a place for him. I didn't know what Pride was like. I didn't know that's how it was like. No one had told me what it was going to be like. So we spent 30 minutes together, and then they were like, oh, we're going home. Do you want us to walk you back to your car? So they walked me back to their car, put my electric wheelchair in my boot, and I then drove home. And then apparently at the after party, a drag queen was actually, that I think was hosting it, actually was manhandled and kicked out. And I won't go much into it, but that was really horrible to hear. And I'm so glad I didn't end up going. I mean, it wasn't even accessible anyway, but I guess my Pride was a little bit more accessible than other places, but it is a bit sad to see that it wasn't fully accessible, honestly. And there was also, on the pathway, there was these, like, built up, like chunks, so it would go in and out like this. Oh boy, do I love him, he's so funny. But basically, I didn't feel that it was that accessible, and I'll be honest, Pride as an autistic person is just not... If you're that... Oh, you are diagonal. If you're the type of autistic who likes to go out, who likes to party, who isn't as noise sensitive as some others, I wouldn't say, don't go. I'd say, go ahead. But if you are noise sensitive, if you've got really strong sensory difficulties, I mean, it was 4:00. This was when the event was like dying down because it was shutting in like a little bit, and people were still crowding. I felt horrendous. I felt like people kept just coming up to me, petting Alfie, touching him. There was a dog that, because I took Alfie off duty, and there was a dog, and I was like, oh, is he friendly? And then this dog started like baring his teeth and like lashed out at Alfie, and Alfie smashed into my wheelchair. Even though the event, you were only supposed to be allowed to have like well-behaved dogs. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, that was my experience at my first ever Pride. Will I go again? I don't think so. I just don't think it would be good for me. The parade was just not accessible. There was too many crowds. I would have been like put at the very back or stuck at the very front. Like there was just no way of me going. The concert, I couldn't really even enjoy the music because it was just too loud. Too many people. And I guess I know that is what Pride is, and I know I don't like clubbing and I don't like that sort of stuff, so I know I had a feeling it was going to be too much for me, but I wanted to try it, so I'm happy I did. Well, thank you for listening to my story time. I've been Wheelie Autistic, and thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you. Please tell me your Pride experiences, and if you've had any good or bad experiences. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.